shame the bank and me. If customers saw you, they wouldn't return to the bank on the next days. Did you know? You were a very crazy person. I feel very disappointed of you.
Hello my fellows, welcome to my video. Again, I'm going to talk about my story. So, let's get started. Probably I should start my story from the year of 2019. You know, in this year, I was still living with my sister in the center of Hanoi. One day, one of my cousins called me and said that she was going to have a wedding ceremony, and she invited my sister and me to attend it. I accepted it. On the next day, I brought to my sister from the center of Hanoi to our homeland, which is about 60 to 70 kilometers from the center of the capital city. Basically, everything happened quite normally in the morning. It was such normal that we wouldn't expect something that would change our lives forever. After attending the wedding ceremony, my sister and I planned to return to where we were renting to live in the evening. The reason was it was still in September, and you should understand that in September in Vietnam, the weather was still hot and sunny, and at that moment we didn't want to suffer from this. You know, in that evening, my sister and I were going on a rough road. In addition to that, there were not many lights on the street. As a result, in many cases, I couldn't control when driving the motorbike of my sister. And unfortunately, one of them became when my sister and I fell out of the motorbike. The consequence was my left leg and my sister got her left wrist broken. When it came to the destination, my sister tried her best to peel her left wrist. Unfortunately, she didn't see any improvement. We were afraid that something terrible was happening. And you know, sadly, that came true. After going to many hospitals in Hanoi, my sister and I had a conclusion. A piece of bone was existing in her left wrist, and because it was very pointy, it was impacting on her skin. As a result, she didn't feel very comfortable because of this injury. My sister was unable to drive her motorbike to anywhere, including her workplace. In addition to that, she couldn't do other things, such as washing dishes and clothes. And if this injury was very serious, probably she would stop working at the bank she was working. However, by some magic, the bank concluded that my sister was still eligible to work there. And as a result, I had to bring my sister from home to workplace, and vice versa. And you know, that was the origin of the main story I am going to talk to you. Nevertheless, I have to remind you that the story I am going to talk to you happened at another bank, not the bank I have told you. You should remember that, please. After working for the first bank in about 4 or 5 years, my sister decided to resign in July 2020. And 1 month later, she applied for another job at another bank. And fortunately, she was hired. To be honest, I felt very happy when my sister was going to work again. Nevertheless, everything would be happening like a nightmare to me. The problem wasn't I had to bring my sister from home to workplace and vice versa, but the procedure of the bank. Unlike other banks in Vietnam, it required its employees to bring documents and letters from there to recipients and vice versa by themselves. That meant it didn't use the post system to do it. How ridiculous it was. By mentioning this period, I just feel very tired. I had to go to live with my sister to anywhere possible, regardless how the weather was. And I had to do that not only in 1 week or 1 month, but about 2.5 years. How frustrating it was. And one of the most frustrating days in this adventure was in 2022. On that day, my sister said that I should be in the hall of the bank. I didn't do it because I didn't feel comfortable to be there. In addition, I would like to spend my free time on speaking languages. Finally, she went in and she had to do something in her responsibility. Meanwhile, at the outside, I was practicing my speaking skills by having some English and German speeches. Everything would be very magnificent for me if the co-workers of my sister, including security men and bankers, didn't complain about my activity. In this situation, I was wearing a mask and used my body language. So they believed that I was doing something very abnormal. They didn't understand that I was practicing German and English. After going out, my sister criticized me a lot. She said something like this.
What the hell did you do? Did you know that you really shamed the bank and me? If customers saw you, they wouldn't return to the bank on the next days. Did you know? You were a very crazy person. I feel very disappointed of you.
In this situation, I felt a little bit responsible for my activity. But I wish that the majority of people would understand what I was doing in this situation, especially my sister. Notwithstanding, I kept silence for this story. I didn't explain anything to my sister. Probably you could wonder why I did that. You should understand that probably my sister would think something like this.
Well, do you really like English? So, why don't you practice at home? It will be better for yourself and for me.
Possibly, my sister would never understand how much I like languages and how important languages are for me. Whatever, if you like languages like me, you can like my videos, share them to any social media website, and subscribe and follow my channel. Thank you and wait for something new. Goodbye and see you later.